What is going on? Today we're going to talk about how I create content, how I automate content on ChatGPT for creating videos, etc. Hopefully this will help. So let's dive right in. The objective of this presentation is to show you how to streamline content creation, at least the process of content creation from the behind the scenes with the help of AI. First step is the research phase. So what I mean by research is when you go and look for content on YouTube, when you want to go find something that you're interested in perfecting or getting a better grasp of something, and not just letting ChatGPT be the help it find whatever it decides to find, whatever information that it decides to pull from. You're kind of refining its knowledge. That way you can pull from that knowledge base. So what I mean by that is you go on YouTube, take the transcript off of YouTube, and then put it into a PDF and upload it to ChatGPT. This is how I decided to do it. The tool I use is called Glasp.co. Looks like it has a bunch of different plugins that you can use, but you can go directly to the website, download the extensions, or you can actually use the tool from the site itself, but I like it when it's built into YouTube. Just makes it a little bit easier. Here's where I show you how to run the extension, where to find it, and essentially install it and what it kind of looks like. Look up YouTube summary on the extension site. Here is an example of how I take the prompt that I would like to find. For example, I look for viral hooks. I search it up. I get the video. Here is where it is. This is where the Glasp.co plugin goes into play. In order to copy the transcript, you must hit this little play button here, this little down button, and it will give you access to that copy. So you copy the transcript. It does it by seconds. I put it into a, document platform that's pretty agnostic to both Windows and Apple, which is Google Docs in my opinion. And then I can actually add document tabs, so that way I can essentially create subject. So just for hooks, just for content creation, just for gardening, just for whatever subject that you're interested in, I copy paste it in there. And for example, I look at another video and I copy paste that transcript, and what I do is I add more than just one transcript for a topic. I like to get 10 videos and take all 10 videos, basically the ideas of all 10 videos, and put it into just one, document per se. I like to think that the ideas may still be the same, but there may be something about one topic that talks about something that one doesn't, or YouTube or the ChatGPT can read all 10 of them and realize, oh, this is definite the right way of doing it. They've all talked about it the same way, then giving it a little bit stronger of a reason to give me an output based off of what it knows. But again, copying the transcript, putting into a document, saving as a PDF, and then uploading it to ChatGPT. So, and what I mean by that is you're warming up ChatGPT to give it context on what to give you. So the quality of the input is the quality of the output, and that process will show you kind of how that goes into play. So if you use ChatGPT, you understand that what I just said about the quality of input is the quality of the output. But if you're not familiar or you're just not experienced with using ChatGPT and creating the prompt and giving it what it probably would be most beneficial to give you the output, you can actually ask it to give you a prompt for ChatGPT. So for example, I say, hey, give me a prompt for ChatGPT on how to create UGC style videos, and then you can see what it says, and then you can get granular. But since we're talking about UGC specifically, I want this transcript to be 30 to 45 seconds. I need a viral hook body and control CTA. Break that down for me. And then you can obviously use examples. This is where you will then upload the scripts from the YouTube video onto here to help create that output for you. So So again, that's the prompt itself. You can refine it as you go along, but the idea here, since we're talking about UGC and to help create the content for UGC or even anything that you would like to film that requires a script or a concept, is understanding the hook, the body, and the CTA, and the format that you want it in. Is it a YouTube video? Is it a TikTok reel, or whatever that might have you? Please identify that, or give it in the description itself. Help me create a voiceover that breaks it down into a hook, body, and CTA, and it has to be 45 seconds, be 5 minutes, whatever you're looking to do, however long of time or whatever. That's how, that's when you can get really more granular with your descriptions. But understanding that the hook, body, and CTA is good for these short form clips is crucial to the output. So, for example, I'm going to show you here of how I do this, at least how I warm up, how I set up the warm up here. I'll create a folder or project. This is internal use. If you're going to create it for your team, then you can do it in a different way. You create a GPT yourself and then do it. But for the sake of this example, I am creating a folder, for the AI presentation. The folder is created, and it will depend on whether you want to teach every single output that you ask this GPT under. Like, for example, are you gonna give all the prompts, all the transcripts of all the lessons, and put it into this thing? So now anything that any output that it gives you will pull specifically from these files, or is it just a specific thing? Say, for example, you want it to give you a baseline of all hooks and stuff like that, but then just for this question you're asking it about gardening, then you upload a gardening transcript, then it won't actually take that into consideration for the other, I guess, conversations you have with it. In this instance, let's just say you want to have only a specific conversation based off of these transcripts that you're asking it to do. So, I will find the PDF of the example. I will drag and drop it into it, so that way it has an idea of what I'm trying to refer to. Then I'll ask it the prompt. I know the prompt already, at least for me, but if you need to do the prompt first, you would actually ask it the prompt first, and then you upload the photo and then copy paste the prompt, so that way it can give you that output. So here once you see that, as you can see, it's going to give me the hook, the body, the CTA, and the different types of videos: experimental style, teacher style, magician style, investigator style, something that will tell it kind of type of video, right? Like, it'll give you the ideas of different types of videos to create. And here it didn't give me the prompt, or it didn't give me everything. It looked like it was just very short. So I can, or in this specific example, I said, okay, based off these 5 videos, how do I shoot the video itself? So you can go a little bit more detail, and it'll actually pull up, hey, do a close up of the tire, of this and that. So asking it how to give you shot ideas is also very useful when planning your upcoming video, or at least the content creation side. It'll kind of eliminate some of that hard thinking for you. It helps you put it into something that you can see, and that way you don't have to kind of cram your head, oh, how do I get creative? You will get better as a result of doing this so often. You'll start understanding the flow of how things go, but in the beginning, this will definitely help you I guess give you a baseline on how to work with ChatGPT and how to create stuff visually for yourself. As an example, what I mean by helping ChatGPT with context, for example, you've already done one product, now you want to do a new product. Well, how is going to get the context? Are you going to come up with, are you going to have to come up with a description of the product? Well, yes and no. And what I mean by that is, for example, we're going to do Voodoo X. I'm going to say, create me 5 new UGC transcripts for this product, and then I'll actually take the link. I'll go to Renegade Products USA, find the product, copy the link, paste it in there, as you can see, and then I'll actually also copy any related photo, like a picture of the product, the back label, front label, anything that can give ChatGPT some sort of visual context, because it actually read it. It'll actually read the video or the photo and understand, this is a bottle, it says this, it has these terms, and then you can do this for almost anything. I do this for YouTube thumbnails. I take a photo of myself doing this. Okay, give it this. So after you give it extra context, like by pasting photos, I think you can paste up to 10 photos at one time. You can add another sort of, say like I added an SDS sheet to it. If I want to talk a little bit more about the safety of it, then I'll upload the SDS sheet of Voodoo X specifically, and then it can give me an idea of what to talk about, etc. Then it'll pump out the transcript here, as you can see, 30-40 site. Here you go, the hook, the body, and the CTA, right? And then you can take this transcript and go, okay, give me video idea shots for each one. And then it'll give you, hey, for the purple bleed one, focus on these shots, blah, 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 blah. But that's how you continue on with the same conversation, and you want to add a new product into that conversation. This is how I do it. Iteration and refinement is more just so when you see it, okay, does it look good? Is the output looking good? Does it say something that it's not supposed to say? Does it have an idea or a concept that it's getting wrong? Maybe you want to say that, hey, I'm in Seattle. I mean, obviously you're in California, but I'm going to do this an indoor shoot now, not an outdoor shoot, right? It's too hot, it's too sunny. I need it. So you kind of give it a refinement based on your limitations, the limitations that you have, in the real world, and then obviously it'll give you an output. I like it, I don't like it. You can just kind of refine it until it gets to where you want it to be. But don't be afraid to tell it even more of your situation, and don't get frustrated. It's just they just don't know what you're not telling it. And once it gives you that output, what do you do with all that? What are the next steps for you to take after you get that output? All right, well, you're going to want to record the transcript. Are you filming it yourself? How are you going to do that? The captions, the graphics, all that, maybe you can collaborate with your internal team on that. But this is how I do it, because I have a team that has an editor, and this is how I do it. And this is the way I'll show you. So for the transcript itself, I'll pull up a voice recorder app, and if you're using your phone, if you prefer to edit with your phone, then you open up a voice memo, whatever that might be. But you'll take that, and if you're recording on your phone, pull up the ChatGPT transcript and just read everything off, because I would say the AI voice is kind of overdone, and people kind of go, another AI voice. Whereas, you get more of a humanized feeling when you get someone like this. You hear someone speak, the inflections, the mistakes, all that stuff. So this is why I do it this way, to kind of also, in a way, I don't want AI to automate my voice. Maybe not yet. At least that's not good at this particular time. It's not good. But for now, this is the easiest way without having to look at a camera or have a phone open and look at a script rolling down. This is the easiest way for me to read a kind of voiceover without having to look at a camera and do it. Because the reason why I say do it this way, when you record, you can actually take that recording and put it into your editing software, and then editing software will be the baseline of the types of B-roll footage that you will shoot, right? I would say that I would record this first, and then when I'm done recording, I would go and shoot the product, or shoot, say like a batch of 5 different videos, knowing that, transcript 1 was this, transcript 2 was this, transcript 3 was this, and understanding when I say things out loud, say, hey, it's perfect for transitioning this into purple. Then I go, okay, then I really need to get a shot of this purple, letting it sit, letting it dry, maybe a time lapse or whatever. But then it influences the way that I decide to shoot the B-roll footage. And when you take that B-roll footage, at least when you batch it that way, the shots 1 through 5 was this, and 5 to 10 was that. So when you go back, you can take those videos, and you can kind of decide to overlay them over the actual voiceover. So ever wonder what your wheels look like still dirty after, why it looks like dirty after a wash? Well, film the tire before it goes, before you try anything, right? And then, because regular soap only removes a surface dirt, and then maybe you can find a B-roll footage on, whatever that might be. And then, or you can film yourself spraying with soap and it still looks like shit. But, you have a little bit more direction when you trying to think about filming your B-roll footage, right? Goes a little bit more into editing your things, but voice record first, then film, and then you can add the B-roll footage on top of your voice. Makes a little bit editing a tiny bit easier. And when you think about the transcript itself, I would say the hook is probably the most important thing, and the hook is just more than just what you say, but it's also what it looks like, and also maybe what is on the screen at that time. And we can dive into it a little bit later. Obviously, the caption of the, you can have the captions. Say we have like a long video. They can't maybe you have an accent or something, or maybe it's just hard for you to understand, or they watched silently, having those captions there, and then obviously repurposing it to whatever you'd like. But I would say the major type of hooks, if you are a current creator, you know exactly what hooks are. But to kind of break that down, these are the type of hooks that I think are very important: is a visual hook, a verbal hook, and a text hook. And someone that uses this well uses either two or all three of them in one go. So now when you go and look at your reels, think about what's pulling you in to stop. When you scroll to stop, what is pulling you in to that reel, and how are they doing that? And this is what I'm thinking about when I look at reels online. I see the text hook. Okay, it says, Jamal just got out of prison and he is now looking for a new honey. And you're like, oh, okay, that gives you the context of the reel itself. Maybe it's someone, punching, throwing a punch and stopping right before you and going, hey, have you ever heard that this technique is the best way to do it? That's the verbal hook, is saying something right after the hook. Sometimes you'll get those live streamer clips where, you'll see like, hey, this guy just, I can't believe he said that. And then you're like, oh, that's a text hook. What does he mean? And then you can see that person going up to someone and talking. That's a visual hook. And then there's no necessarily verbal hook there, right? And they're not saying something to stop you, but that's just more of a live stream thing. But when you're thinking about it and you do see content base of that, what is the visual hook that can get that attention? Are you sliding the product in front of your face, throwing it out there? Are you dropping it? Are you throwing it, but it's reversed? How are you doing this to kind of going, oh, whoa, what, why is this even a thing? And obviously you can have the verbal hook, or you can even have a text hook saying, POV, this tire shine is going to change your life. This will blind drivers on the way. And then they'll go, what the hell is that, right? But ultimately, using two or three of these is the idea, or the ideal for creating captivating UGC content, or just content in general. To kind of round it all off, to summarize the rest of this thing is, research what you're interested in, and it could be for anything. It could be motorsports, it could be blue collar, something, whatever that might be, but whatever you're interested in doing. And specifically, if you're looking to create content, maybe these gurus out there, take all their videos. I've put 30 videos in one folder or in one PDF file and just threw it on there, and then it base it off of that. That's how you warm up the GPT. And then I can then ask it a prompt to give me the output that I'm looking for. And then I'll take whatever that is, the script or the concept, and then start refining that to however I see fit. And then I'll start drafting and recording this stuff, whether that be recording it, the voice, or letting someone else do it, whatever have you. At least, that's how you take action on the output itself. Obviously refine it however you like, and then then you rinse and repeat. And that's kind of the standard operating procedure that I base my work on especially when creating content. So if there's any questions, please let me know. Hopefully you found this helpful, and at least this gives you a better, I guess, outlook on where what to do next, or how to create your next set of content. Thank you.